Before he passed away in the summer of 2015, Ken Stabler had a storied career with Oakland, Houston, and New Orleans. He'd been a league MVP, a member of the all-decade team of the 70s, and the championship quarterback of Super Bowl XI.
Thanks, Nick.
Still, there was one more honor that had eluded him and his 3 daughters for over a quarter of a century.
Kendra? Dave Baker from the Pro Football Hall of Fame. I know it's been a long journey, and I wish he was here to hear this, but your dad's going to be in Canton, Ohio, in the Pro Football Hall of Fame forever.
So much.
Congratulations.
I see this as the culmination of a lot of people's hard work. Yeah, I mean, vindication, and it's sweet. He's in, and they can't take that away now.
It's been tough and bittersweet knowing that he was going to be inducted, but he wouldn't be here. Enjoy it.
Party like Dad would.
Yes.
Well, and then we'll go to him.
To the one and only Ken Stabler.
Cheers. Roll Tide.
Roll Tide.
Pleasure to meet you. Come on this way, please.
Dad could throw a party like he could throw a football. I felt him in the room. I think we all did.
303 football legends who will forever call the Pro Football Hall of Fame their home.
I would have given anything to have seen him go down that gauntlet. The ones that didn't know him loved him. The ones that did know him worshiped him.
Ladies and gentlemen, our first senior nominee of the night, Snake.
I think he would have looked amazing, and I think the house would have come undone. The crowd would have just gone crazy.
Everyone, please give a warm reception to Ken Stabler's grandson, Justin Moyes.
To watch Justin up there represent, I was blown away.
In loving memory of Pro Football Hall of Famer, Ken Stabler.
Did you really smoke on the sidelines? Have a hot dog, smoke a cigarette?
No, that was your father. Him and George.
Eating hot dogs?
You gotta get the grandkids in here too. Don't forget them.
Any grand snakes?
The grand snakes.
The parade was awesome. It was so much fun.
Thank you.
First time I've been in a parade, so it was pretty cool. But watching my boys in front of me with Freddie and having the Stabler jerseys on, and just the respect was amazing.
I think probably the more emotional moment that we had was when you saw 5 Packers fans and they each had a letter that had spelled snake. And I just thought that was just so touching. It really was such a special moment to know that he was so loved.
Yeah, he was a badass on that field.
Number 1, about time.
But how he touched people's lives, and it didn't matter, who they were.
Love you.
Real happy that he's in and to honor his memory. And I met him when I was 9 years old, and he just touched my life. I actually grew up in Massachusetts, and I was a Raider fan for life after that, and that's why I'm here.
So I had him get a photograph. I had the ultimate thing was he said, "I love the shirt," because it was a Stabler shirt, and I said, "I love watching you play in this shirt."
See that?
No, I never saw this. Wow. And my dad loved Tom Hanks. He would have just been so thrilled. Why are you trying to make me cry?
The late, great Ken Stabler.
History has got it right. The books now have it right, because the NFL story would not be complete without Kenny Stabler.
Another famous play of Kenny is decided to go for it on 4th and scored. I mean, he's here.
When I had Hall of Famers coming up to me behind the stage, and they weren't talking about what he did on the field, it was the man that he was, and they were blown away by him and just his presence.
December 18th, 1983. I was 14 years old. I was pretty certain at 14 years old of what I was going to do in my future, and that was I was going to be the next Roger Staubach or Archie Manning. And as we sat in our seats prior to kickoff, the crowd stood and they pointed in the direction of the Saints tunnel. And as I stood, I saw this long, gray-haired, scruffy-bearded player emerging from the tunnel. And I knew then and there, as goosebumps ran up my arm and the hair on the back of my neck, that that was what I was destined to do. Well, that player happened to be none other than Kenny Stabler.
Presenting Ken Stabler for enshrinement into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Please welcome Ken's grandsons, Justin and Jake Moyes.
I was doing really well until Justin, watching him look at his papa. And that was, that will be etched in my mind forever.
To see Justin and Jack unveil that bus and give Dad a kiss. He had such a special bond with his grandsons. And I know Dad was beaming with pride.
I'd always say, get knocked down, keep getting up. And that's what he did. He always got up and he always fought. And it did last 2 minutes, and here we are, his final drive, and there's a snake in the hall.
Flying aerial attack triggered by Kenny Stabler, the man they call the Snake. Having his finest season in 7, Stabler is hit for a whopping 66% of his passes and leads the NFL in touchdowns thrown with 15.
He is not called the Snake for nothing, for he is a cold-blooded, calculating, cool young quarterback. Time slipped onward and Stabler drove downfield. He hit Ray Chester for 1 first down. He hit Pete Banasak on a screen for another first down. He went to Biletnikoff for still another. Ken Stabler stayed calm and cranked the drive up again on a completion to Mike Siani. Then, with everyone in town knowing that Stabler had to throw, Kenny evaded pressure, circled out of the pocket, saw 30 yards of daylight, and ran for it. And so it seemed that once again those prideful, poiseful, miraculous Raiders had pulled out another big one, as Oakland went ahead with 1:13 left in the game, 7-6.
Pressure situation like that where everything's riding on a single player or two, there's no one that you'd rather have involved in that play than Kenny Stabler. He has the uncanny knack of putting a ball between people and between hands and just being able to slip things in there from all different angles, and that's exactly what he did.
With time running out, Stabler dashed Miami's hopes of a 3rd consecutive title in dramatic fashion.
There he is, fading, looking. He's under the gun. He's shot, he throws. It is! He caught it! He caught it! When Stabler had to loop the ball up because it was hit as he threw, it looked like he might have been lobbing it into the promised land for Miami. But no, Davis got there first, and it was the Raiders' promised land.
Stabler Stabler surprised them with a perfectly thrown sideline pass to Fred Biletnikoff, who touched down at the 1-yard line. On the next play, the Raiders resumed their attack on Minnesota's right side. But instead of plowing through it, they sailed over it on an easy pass from Ken Stabler to Dave Casper.
A 42-yard pass to superb tight end Dave Casper carried the Raiders to the Colt 14. And an end zone repeat reveals why Casper is an all-pro. In the most crucial of situations, Casper had to make what most receivers consider the toughest catch of all. Looking straight back, then catching the ball as it came down directly over his head. Branch's diving catch gained precisely 19 yards, and as fifth period turned into sixth, Oakland was on the Baltimore 10. And then it was over. Only the third game in NFL history to stretch into 6 quarters was ended by Dave Casper's third touchdown catch of the game. Stabler's pass to Branch covered 75 yards and gave the Raiders a 14-7 lead in the game.
Oakland's precision passing finished a successful 5-week road trip 17-10. In the NFL's 57-year history, no team ever had a better pass completion percentage than these 1976 Oakland Raiders. So Ken Stabler quickly went airborne, striking for 3 scores in 9 minutes. And then the Raiders calmly shouted Bengal playoff hopes as Stabler and Biletnikoff clinched win number 12, 35-20. Prior to the Charger game, Ken Stabler was named Most Inspirational Raider. This final game showcased Mike Ray, Dave Humm, Hubie Ginn, Carl Garrett, and regained the lead 21-10 late in the third quarter. The valiant Raiders stormed goalward in classic drives. First, Van Egan scored, but Oakland still trailed by 4.
Stabler rolling to the left. He's going to go. Wins it in. Kenny Stabler, but a flag down. Hold it, hold it, hold it. Touchdown indication. Flag down. No final decision yet. Here's the signal coming. Offside New England. Decline Oakland. Touchdown Oakland.
Unproductive first half. Stabler began to probe the Colts secondary with medium-range passes to Fred Biletnikoff, number 25. Stabler capitalized on the coverage and threw to Branch, who outmaneuvered Nelson Muncy. Stabler led Oakland to a 13-0 lead on 2 field goals and a rainbow to Mike Siani. Meanwhile, Stabler continued to work like radar as he hit on 25 of 29 passes for 304 yards to break Sammy Baugh's all-time completion percentage record. At one point, he connected on 14 in a row, just one shy of the NFL record. His protection was perfect as he hit number 88, Bob Moore, to increase the Silver and Black's lead. They've got their offense together now, and Clarence Davis put the game away on this 32-yard jaunt to make Ken Stabler's fine performance a victorious one, 34-21.
Then Kenny the Snake Stabler lofted Oakland's touchdown number 2 of the day to his tight end Bob Moore. When number 23 Charlie Smith came in with the play, he quickly cut the Giants off at the knees as he made a bobbling catch to bring the score 28-0.